OK and the podcast serves as a vessel to bridge the gap between human isolation and connection. We are all going through something. However, what happens when we start sharing our stories? We will be able to connect, heal, and grow. Come with me and my guests on a journey that will uncover their OK and moment. I'm your host, Just Jess. Let's get started. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening to this podcast. I'm your host, Just Jess, and welcome back to OK and the Podcast, Season 2. Woo! So, if y'all haven't heard my voice in a long time, because if you follow, live and all that stuff, I recently got sick. But now I feel better. We're getting back into the studio, getting back into the swing of things. And I have a lovely co-host today that's going to be just talking to random with us, which is awesome. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, guys. I'm Chioma, Jess's best friend forever.
Oh, my The BFF is in the building, okay? So let's catch up. Let's put a seatbelt on. If you're not sitting down, go ahead and sit down. If you're, drinking, just get a little glass of wine or whatever. So the last time I recorded was in July, and a lot has happened in July. Chioma turned another age. I turned another age. The turn up in quarantine was... How was your birthday, though? Let's start there.
Oh, my God. I loved my birthday, actually. Because typically I spend my birthday in a different country.
Yes.
But then COVID came and,
But you were with the giraffes.
Yes. We went to SeaWorld. No, we went to the San Diego Zoo Safari Slumber. I forget the name of it. Anyways, it's a slumber party at the safari park. And right outside of your tent, because it's like camping.
Yeah.
Right outside the tent, there's like the giraffes and the elephants and all of the Lion King, like literally right outside. Because it's in like the African part of the safari park. So anything that you saw in the Lion King, essentially, you see outside of this tent.
So they were like, how far away were you from the Lion King, actually?
I don't know yards and miles, but...
Gotcha, okay.
But it's like a 3-minute walk away. But, okay, let me explain this.
Okay.
You're kind of elevated, and they are down below. So if you look over, like, say, this banister kind of thing, you're looking right at the animals.
Okay.
Did I describe that well?
No, but there was a barrier.
There is a barrier.
Cool, okay.
Unfortunately.
What?
I wanted to be like South Africa, like wake up in the morning and the giraffe is telling me hello in my ear. That's what I was hoping for.
Wait a minute. Wait
But close enough. It was actually really cool. It was my first camping experience. So I loved it.
Well, that's a hell of a camping experience to have to be your first one.
Right.
Like, who could top that?
Right.
You can't go to Yosemite and be like, oh my God. Just like, y'all don't got the.
Where are the animals?
Yeah. Okay.
Where's the giraffe?
So no Big Bear. No.
Oh, I would totally camp outside in Big Bear. The bears. Like, just the simple potential of a bear coming by is enough for me. I'm down.
Okay, so the last time I was there, we didn't see any wildlife. And that's what was irritating. Because it was like, where are y'all at? It's cold. Maybe they were hibernating.
There was a time in college. I don't know if you... Yeah, you were there. Like, we woke up the next morning. Oh, no, I think it was with Vinny and them. We woke up the next morning, and the trash cans were, like, toppled over where they weren't the day before.
That's when y'all went for summer. That was for your birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't make that trip.
No. It was winter. I think it was for Divinity's birthday in February.
I didn't make that one either.
But the trash cans were, like, turned over, and... I mean, they were like hefty sized trash cans. So like, that's not a raccoon. It had to be like a bigger animal. So we just assumed it was like a bear.
What?
We never confirmed.
I don't know, man. Being in California, it's one thing to be here during our birthdays in the summertime because we're both summer babies. And then we like to travel, and to be here and try to figure it out was one thing. Like for my birthday, I was like, okay, I want to do Palm Springs. I want to do this. And then like all the cases started happening. And then I got freaked out. And it was last minute. So I was like, all right, I just want my cigar and a good meal. But
your birthday was fun, actually.
It was.
It was a good time.
We had a good time. The food was bomb. That cake was freaking awesome. Shout out to Jazz for bringing that cake. What? Was it a buttercream?
It was delicious.
Was it? Oh, that's gonna bug me. I think it was like a buttercream brown sugar crumble cake. That sounds bomb.
I want some of your brown sugar.
Okay, there you
That
go.
literally
There
made me
you
think
go.
of the song.
So we have our birthdays. Okay, so let's get into it in regards to just all these random topics that we have. So first and foremost, a lot of people died this year.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I know, right? We just jump into it. Like, a lot of people died. That was really unexpected. I know we talked about Kobe a couple episodes ago. But let's go to Mr. Black Panther. Let's go to
I know.
number 42. Let's go to just Chadwick. let's talk about it.
It's been just the way 2020 began and then continued. It's like the year just made a decision. January 1, 2020, I will come and I will destroy. And it literally like came and like took people from us, made people deal with these illnesses that they've never experienced before. Unfortunately, many of them didn't survive it.
Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman, for him to, as far as I know, he was like battling this cancer like in private. Like it wasn't shared with the rest of us. Yet and still, he managed to do all of these beautiful movies for Black people, right? And not look sick. I don't know. I didn't hear complaints. Like you look at it, he's literally a superhero in almost every role that he played. So he's like embodying like strength and power.
Yep. And
then on the side, he's dealing with this like illness. It's amazing. Like I was impressed, seriously.
I think the thing that it not only impressed me about the movies, but about his squad around him. So to know, like, if he was on set filming, whatever movie, and they had to get him to, his treatments or just that type of privacy, but to know that you have a terminal illness and you're going to do the most that you possibly can. If I got diagnosed with a terminal illness, what would be my possibilities? Or would I just, how would your even mind be set?
Girl, I'd probably let it consume me. I'd probably like live in that pit of darkness until I came to my end. Like, I don't know. It takes a different kind of mindset, a different kind of like resilience to battle through. And I don't know. He's amazing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Rest in peace, Chad, man. I know he has one more movie scheduled, I think next month with Viola Davis. What's that movie called? Mary, what is it called? It's about a blues singer, and I think he's in it. I just know that he was playing the trumpet, so I don't know who he's playing. I don't know who's embodying, but I know it's going to be dope. So, and then the next one that we had, that was, I don't know, for a nerd standpoint. Did you grow up watching Jeopardy?
Not like a regular.
Okay.
I feel like I watched more Wheel of Fortune than I did Jeopardy, but I'm very familiar.
Yes.
And I remember an episode where I think one of the contestants like gave the money to him because of his battle with cancer. Or it was something that contestant did that like pretty much brought him to tears on the episode. And I think that's when I realized that he had been sick. But then it kind of left my mind because I'm not a frequent watcher.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he lost the fight. 2020, girl, that decision it made January 1st.
That struck a blow because yes, Wheel of Fortune, I think Wheel of Fortune's at 7:30, Jeopardy's at 7 p.m. And so that was like the night where it was like, okay, this is how the night's gonna go, and then you watch the news growing up. But just to know that man was so classy, so intelligent, just poised, I would say. And he recorded his last 35 episodes. And so they're going to air those, which is a trip. And I didn't know Jeopardy Studios was in Culver City.
Oh, wow.
Like down the street around the corner.
Wait, he recorded?
Wow. And they're supposed to release, and that's what he wanted to do. That was his last wishes. Yeah, so shout out to Alex, man. That is a trip. But I guess transitioning to some celebratory news. Lakers and Dodgers are champions.
LA
was kind of scary. LA, I don't know if y'all know, but LA, we have industrial fireworks on any occasion. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we have the fire. Okay, I don't know what happened this year. Like the pictures from 4th of July.
Girl, it's insane. It's insane.
Y'all need to go on the Googles and go on YouTube and type in 4th of July night in Los Angeles, California, 2020. It was insane. But for the Lakers, Chichi, I mean, you're a sports fan.
Mm-hmm.
Were you excited about it? Talk to me.
I've unplugged
Okay, tell me more.
from the LA Lakers and
Oh.
just NBA. So I've never really been like, I've always more so loved college basketball
Okay.
than NBA. I just feel like there's a different kind of like energy watching college sports than it is
Yes,
the
there
NBA.
is.
They're still like insanely hungry in college. They're trying to make it to the NBA. Not to say they're not hungry in the NBA, but I am kind of unplugged. So I feel like the LA win didn't hit me like it hit you. I know you moved to the streets with it. I cheered from my sofa.
Yes. Yes. Fourth quarter, about 5 minutes left. I told Martin, I said, babe, we need to get dressed. He said, yep, we do. It's so bad. The building started turning purple and gold. The US Bank was purple and gold. Like, what's the fancy hotel? The Ritz. The Ritz was all purple. Like everything was purple and gold. So we get down there. And so I parked the car. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. So we saw all these Laker fans and stuff. So we're at the Staples Center waiting for them to display, like, you know, NBA champions,
Yeah.
you know, like go live to Orlando, like show us so we can scream and shout. They didn't do nothing. LAPD was hella deep, okay? Like they were there. And at first they were like letting us kick it. They're like, okay, you know, make sure you get off the sidewalk, get on the sidewalk, you know, we want you to celebrate in peace. All great, okay? And then the fireworks started coming out. And I'm like, well, let me go ahead and go live, you know, because I'm an auntie. Let me go live and be like, oh, look at you guys. And those things were boom, 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 boom. So then Nike made the mistake. So if you go, you know, you're on the Staples Center side on Figueroa. If you go straight past the LA Convention Center, there's like a Nike display. It's really, really pretty. And they made the announcement. And they had, you know, their whole thing, it takes us, and this has been a hell of a year. And like they show LeBron and Anthony. And so everybody starts like migrating over there or whatever. And then I don't know what happened, but in the blink of a second, somebody grabbed my hand. It was Martin. Martin was like, we got to go, because they started tear gassing. And so everybody started running. So I'm like, I don't want to be in a riot. Like, I don't.
Hey,
I just wanna hear what
do your
Kobe-
masks kind of help against the tear gas?
You know what was funny? We weren't close enough to know. But that's a good question because of
Right?
this
Like-
whole situation. Like, mind you, y'all, we have the mask on in the studio. Hashtag protected. So, like, well, I don't know, but we ran back to the car. So to get into the car and to get to the freeway, because they started shutting the freeway exits down so people couldn't come in. It took us an hour and a half to get on the 10 freeway to get back home.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was insane. Dodgers, shout out to the Dodgers. I did not go outside for the Dodgers.
Me neither.
The Dodgers have a different type of fan base, and I wasn't ready to experience. I said congratulations out my window, but I was not ready to.
Be a part of.
I wasn't ready because
the
it's a lot.
joyous occasion.
It's a lot. And then when you get the notices on the Citizens app, like, oh, you know, 40 people arrested, damages, like, it was bad. I mean, not to say that Laker fans are better,
Yeah.
but it was more of a, oh, okay, we're here. It's Kobe, you know, we won
Yeah.
it, like emotions. Dodgers, they haven't won since we were born, actually.
Oh, is that why it was so
Yeah.
lit?
It's like 32 years in the making since 88. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was born. Yeah. So like it was insane to know like, oh my gosh, it took this whole time for them to win. And mind you, they've been back and forth to like the playoffs and all that stuff, but they just could never get over the hump.
Take it all the way.
So that was pretty lit to get those back to back. And if the Sparks would have won, that would have been dope. But they didn't win. WNBA.
Shout out to the WNBA.
Come on now.
Like,
Come on now.
It's I never understand it because
What do you
I
mean?
mean I get it. Just the reason why they don't bring in as much revenue as the
NBA.
NBA,
Mm.
and they're playing equally as hard.
If not better sometimes, yeah.
If
Yeah.
it's just something about women's. We're just not there yet in the world.
And you would think we would be from I don't know, like we can play sports, we're attractive when we do it, we're sweating, we're running up and down the court, we're hitting people, blocking people. Like it's like the best of all worlds. Like I mean, when
Right.
we played ball, I mean, I was into it. Like, I mean,
Totally.
my mom had the East Bay magazine, and we would order all kinds of stuff from there. I mean, we were traveling nonstop, and that's when I discovered that there were women bigger than me.
Girl. Okay, I'm 5'9".
Right.
I can't. My whole life, they said just standing with your hands up. Right? I was the biggest one on the court.
There you go.
I get to high school. These girls are literally 6'5". I grew up being a center.
Right.
Or even a power forward. Girl, I should have been a guard. Okay.
Okay. I should have been 1-2, maybe a 3. Maybe.
I just didn't have the height.
I was
Nor the strength. Those girls were big.
I was canceled out in like sophomore year. I was like, I said, Dad, no. Do you see who I'm playing against?
Then you look at the San Clemente girls. Oh my God, these girls are like 7 feet.
What is happening? What are they eating?
I don't know.
What is in the food? Okay? Because I did not understand. Like I thought, literally growing up, I was the tallest. We had maybe 2 or 3 girls that were like the same height,
Yeah.
And then sophomore year, something happened. I don't know if it was the water. I don't know if like puberty was like, yo, let's just take off and go. But these women, 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", and just tall.
Girl, tall and strong. Okay?
And strong. What you doing lifting weights? What are you doing?
They've been conditioning since middle school.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there, and that's okay. That's
okay. I've accepted
right?
it.
That was in my ministry. It's totally fine. I don't I hope I think the WNBA, for some strange reason, I think wants these NBA players' daughters that are playing basketball start taking off in college. WNBA is going to see a surge almost.
Yeah.
I think it will be like that sweet time when like Lisa Leslie, Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson, all of that would come together because you got Shaq's family coming through. You got I think Michael Jordan's nieces are coming through. Like there's a lot of different ones that are balling right now. So that's why it was so crazy to lose Gigi, but I think it's gonna work out. So which will be good. All right, I've been dreading this conversation.
Oh no,
but
no,
we're gonna talk about it. So let me pull up some stats. If my computer wants to work. So what's today? Ooh, Sunday. Okay. So November 17th.
15.
Ooh, girl. November. This is airing November 17th, but we're recording the 15th. Thank you. No, you're good. Because you're absolutely right. Like, girl, you can't tell dates. It's 2020. We need to get shirts that say we survived 2020.
It's a big feat, dude. We still got a couple of more months to go, though. I mean, we'll make it, but we're not there yet.
All right. So as of right now, 2020 U.S. election results. Oh my God. Yeah, I know.
We're still in it.
So apparently, Joe Biden has 290 electoral votes, right? Donald Trump has 232. And our president-elect is Joe Biden. However, our current president hasn't conceded. He's not going to.
Something about a sore loser.
There's lawsuits everywhere. Georgia, I think, just announced that they're recounting.
By hand, girl.
By hand, which is insane. So let's talk about it. It's been a long 4 years.
I don't know.
Okay. What happened?
President Donald Trump.
Okay.
Like, you are the leader of the United States of America. You, if anything, should be like encouraging the people to trust in their democracy, to trust in the way in which we've been doing things up until now. But it's like, because you are the loser in this situation.
Yeah.
You now want your supporters, and hoping that it moves on outside of your supporters, to question the legitimacy of our election process.
Mm.
Like, are you ultimately trying to destroy our democracy? Because to me, that's the goal. This guy, Trump, oh God, I just feel like I just feel that he doesn't play by anyone's rules but his own.
Yeah.
You know, like ever since he's been in office, there's been, more flamboyancy in terms of like racial slurs, racial violence, just, racism, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not to say that because of him, people are racist. No. I think long before him, they were racist, but he's given them, whether it's like intentional or not, the courage to be boisterous with it, like to come out and like state it matter-of-factly, where they used to just talk about it at their dinner tables.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we weren't there. We weren't at your table, so it didn't affect us. But now he's come with his Proud Boys and gang,
gang.
to come and now question the way in which this country runs its election process.
Yeah.
Like, my guy, if you lost, we all lose at some points in our lives, and it's how you handle the loss. Isn't that what they taught us growing up?
He missed that day. He missed that day. He didn't get that lesson.
I mean, at this point, I just think he's making a bigger fool of himself. But
yeah, when you think of legacy, when you think of the way that he's going down, I mean, what would the history books tell us, in the next 10, 15 years about this president? I think one thing that hit me the hardest was when we went to go protest.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that, we have an election in November, but the protest happening like the week of, what was it? The last week of May. So Memorial Day weekend up until like the second weekend when everything happened. To know like there were so many people out there, whether it was for clout, whether it was to get out the house, whatever the case may be, but to know that people were sick and tired of being sick and tired of him.
Yeah.
And just the rhetoric that he brings. And then knowing that I didn't know that they were having this every year, but the MAGA march.
Girl, I just read about that yesterday.
What?
It was like the MAGA. Okay, on one article it said MAGA Million Man March, and then the other one said like MAGA 1,000 Man March or whatever. But either way, they got a MAGA march, right? And it's like, what are we marching for? What actually is like what's the goal there?
And then you wanted to go to DC out of all places. DC.
And they faced all types of issues while out there. They thought they were dealing with.
DC's like the second place for Chocolate City, standalone to Atlanta. So how did you think that was going to be possible?
But my thing is, what are they doing this for?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because I feel like every march has like a goal,
purpose?
A purpose, and it's understood.
I just don't understand how people like when people do marches and it's wrong, like the people that issue the permits. So you're signing off on a MAGA Million March permit.
Unless they did it under a different guise, maybe they signed it up as something different. Who knows? You never know.
What?
You never know, girl. People, there's a lot of ways around things. And let me just say, President Trump, as does Joe Biden, if the tables were turned, they have every right to like challenge the election if they feel that, something might have been wrong. But so it's like, okay, if you want to just take this to the fullest extent of the law, but my thing is like, just sit down and weigh your options here. You know what I mean? Like, don't do it just for the sake of prolonging and just being a difficult guy and trying to stir up like anger in your followers and things like that. I don't know. In my opinion, it looks like most people have kind of just accepted that our president-elect is Biden and it's legit and, but he still has his gang.
I think the other part that surprised me the most was Arizona and Georgia to flip to blue.
Yes, girl. Stacey Abrams.
Okay, so I feel like I contributed to that, honestly, because I was out there for 3 years and I voted for 3 years.
Oh.
So, like, I feel like I was in there, you know?
Yeah.
Had my little peach, little Georgia sticker and all. But Stacey Abrams, this woman,
I know.
it was so give her flowers, give her whatever she wants, because not only did she lose the governor race, but she said, you know what, I'm not. And then people called her selfish for not running for, like, there was another position that people wanted her to run for, or like people were like, oh, she should be the next VP. She was like, no. We need to handle Georgia. We got some other things to do. She contributed to 800,000 new registered voters.
Yes.
800,000.
Imagine the legwork. Like,
bro,
how exhausted.
What does your Fitbit say? What does your Apple Watch say? Do you fulfill all your circles when you're registering people?
Right. Did you close your rings, girl?
Like, were you? Hey, I know you in there. Okay, over there, like probably in Macon, Georgia, somewhere in the country, and be like, shout out to Macon. I know y'all not country, but y'all out there though. But just out there and be like, okay, so I'm Stacey Abrams. You know, you don't know who's coming to the door.
You don't know.
And you know,
I know, that's so true.
When you get to Georgia, some parts are not outside of Atlanta. People don't understand. Atlanta is not just Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing like LA is not just California. Like Atlanta is a small metropolitan area in the upper north side of Georgia. And once you get out of Atlanta area, it kind of feels like 1950s. 1960s.
Well, really?
Yeah, especially when you start going to South Georgia, when I was traveling for work, as soon as I left Atlanta and going through those different towns, you see Trump, you see Confederate flags. I mean, they're proudly waving. I mean, it's not like in the window of a store. It's like a flagpole, and they got the Confederate flag out there. Like you know what's up when you go out there. So to know that she was able to register in just in that area alone is honorable. And then you got Keisha Lance Bottoms.
I know.
The mayor of Atlanta. Just the craziness when it comes to Black women and the empowerment that I think we both felt like, just knowing that this was all taking place. And then to have Kamala Harris.
Come on, Kamala.
Let's just take a moment. Okay, because I saw a quote and I was trying to find it, but people, there was a quote that was on Twitter and someone said, you can feel apprehensive about Joe Biden. You can feel, the way that you feel about Trump. And you can also feel like you want to celebrate because of Miss Harris.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
It's a win.
Tell me more.
For Black women all over. It's a win. And she did it with so much style and grace. Like, even during her debate where I was nervous because they're quick to coin us angry Black women the minute you disagree with anything, or your voice slightly elevates due to passion or whatever it is, despite whatever the other person's reactions are. But we, Black women, will be coined as angry and just aggressive. So I was nervous during her debate with Pence, but I feel like, girl, if she didn't shut it down in the most
multiple times
amazing way and still deliver all necessary information.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like she came with the intent, like, okay, I'm just about to focus on the people, educate the people, let the people know that I'm here for them. And then secondary, I'm going to handle Pence. And she accomplished both.
It was the epitome of what Black women do.
Girl.
It was like, you know what? We got two things to handle. Number one, I'm gonna handle you. I'm gonna tell you about yourself. Number two, I'm gonna talk to them, and we're gonna do multitasking. I think one thing that got me going was her smile to him and her nodding, and that was like, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
Just hurry up and finish your point, because I'm coming for you. I'm going to nod and smile. I'm going to show all of my teeth, okay? Teeth are gorgeous, by the way. I know you would appreciate that.
I was.
So I was like, she's coming for him.
She did, in the best way.
Yes.
She, just thank you for that representation. Now we have a woman in the vice presidency, but also like a Black woman. She's also South Asian, right?
Yep.
I mean,
I think she checks all the boxes.
She really does.
Like, any box that you want to say for um, anything first, she did it. And people need to, I heard this too, people need to understand, like, it wasn't the first Black woman, it was the first woman
Right.
who so happens to be Black. And we don't get a lot of those.
No.
Like, we don't get a lot of those at all.
And she black girl. She went to a Black university.
Something.
She pledged for a Black sorority.
Let me tell you something. And I dare people, because this would piss me off too. People were questioning her Blackness. And I'm like, did you go to a historically Black college?
No.
Did you, like, just the certain things that people would say. And I hate that, because they did the same thing with Barack. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's not, that quote unquote Black. And I'm like, what is quote unquote Black?
Girl.
What is that? Like, are you displaying a stereotype in BET, and that's the only type of quote unquote Black you know?
Yes. Yes, oh, they are. That is what they're doing.
I don't understand.
That's that subtle racism right there.
It's subtle. I mean, just the fact that people were like mispronouncing her name on purpose, knowing that someone like was calling her a hoe. I'm like,
a hoe?
What is
how? We don't even know. What?
Like,
oh, that's wild.
Why is she a hoe?
Why she gotta be a hoe? Because she's a woman?
Because right.
And she's Black. So
she slept her way to the top. No, you don't see her receipts.
No. Though she does have a history that, some people might find issues with.
Yes.
As does Joe Biden. But my whole thing with that is they've both kind of acknowledged where they, needed to grow.
Yeah.
And have stated that they have grown. Right?
Yeah.
Like, Biden has been saying that, and he seemingly is for the Black people right now. So my whole thing is, like, I mean, we've all made different choices in our lives.
Yeah.
When you're younger.
Yeah.
And then you grow. You grow.
There's a moment where and if you don't have this moment, if you haven't had it now, you need to sit down and reevaluate. Like, where have, your growth moments been?
Right.
Where have they been?
Right.
But I think with both of them, in both of their, acceptance speeches, both put an emphasis on the Black vote.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I haven't heard that. I don't think I've ever heard that in my life. Especially Black women, especially the Black vote. Like, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for democracy. Because when you look at the different cities that were going up against, like, who can win, you had, what was it, Philly?
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, so Atlanta, right? And then what was the other one? Milwaukee. There's Black folks everywhere in those three. Okay, so when you think of, yes, there's mail-in ballots, you have people that went out there to stood out in a line for like 3-4 hours. Shout out to y'all.
I know.
Because I didn't do that.
Me neither.
It took like 5 minutes.
Girl, real quick.
And we were out.
Real quick.
It was out. It was sending out. Got a sticker.
And it makes you wonder too, like, if you were in that 2-3 hour line, would you have stayed?
Yes, exactly. I think wasn't there like a pipe that burst in Georgia or something like that too? Like,
people faced a lot of like
trials and tribulations
just to get to their vote.
And I don't. When people say like, oh, the importance of voting is not there, or I'm not gonna vote, and y'all gotta vote.
You gotta vote. I mean, everywhere, but especially in the states where you're like, because like in California, you could vote the other way, but it's kind of as if you just kind of threw that vote in the trash, because it's just a Democratic.
We're blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in other areas where it's like, look at how the elections went this time around. We're like seriously dependent on like just a handful of states. And so are people still saying they don't feel their vote matters? Because I
mean, it would be stupid, but I think people will say that unless they see something that's going to directly impact them. So, a lot of people have been saying, okay, so we got Joe and Kamala in there. What's up with our stimulus checks? What's up with our student loans? Because they promised, $10,000 off of student loans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's just interest for me. So you can knock off some more and call it a day. I mean, what else are you going to do? But one thing that really tripped me up was the fact of how close the race actually was.
Oh my God, my dad is bummed. He said he was embarrassed that 55% of the men voted for President Trump. He said he just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
My mom was like, it's because men are more focused on the economy. Like, that's kind of what's driving their decisions and this and that. But isn't it also like 55% of white women voted for President Trump?
Let's see.
Girl, I got a story about the woman vote
Uh-oh.
for Trump
Um,
versus Biden.
Bye. Okay, so let's see what we got. Make sure I go to a proper
Right. One that can be trusted.
source.
Site.
Okay. So this is coming from CNN. That's a good one, right? Kind of, no.
Fox News people will dispute.
Oh,
but okay.
I don't know if anybody from Fox News listens to this, but that's cool too. That's cool too. Okay, let's see. Dang. Okay, so this is pulling up the battleground. We want to know, do they say by race or by ethnicity? Or
for the men, it was just men in general. They didn't say, or the one my dad was referring to wasn't separated by race. For
Trump. Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh, Lord have mercy. I just want the stats. I just want the stats. Okay. 42% of who?
Women.
42% of women voted for Trump? Does that break down by ethnicity?
While you guys are searching, so I'm a dental hygienist, right? And so I deal with patients every day.
Yeah.
And so this is pre-elections. No. Actually, this was like on election night was Tuesday, right? This was on Wednesday.
So the day after, okay.
The day after. So we still didn't know who was the winner. So a lady comes in, older lady. She had to be in her 50s plus. Mm-hmm. And she's like, she was a white woman. She's like, oh my God, are you following the elections? And I was like, yes, I am. And she's like, I just cannot believe how rude Donald Trump is. And I was like, yeah, he seems to be very rude. And she's like, I mean, during that debate, he just wouldn't let Biden get a word in. Didn't his mother teach him that it's wrong to be rude? And I was like, yeah, upon other things, there's so many issues with Donald Trump.
Right.
And she's like, no, he was just so mean and rude, like a bully. That's why I changed my vote. I voted for Biden because he was just so rude during the debate. Girl, that was the reason.
Because he was rude.
Not anything else, girl. Not anything. I mean, I was like, must be a different kind of life where the racial injustice and all these other things isn't reason enough for you to want to switch your vote from Trump to Biden. She's like, he just was so rude. His mother didn't teach him that it's not good to be rude. And I was like, this might be how a lot of non-Black older women voters are feeling because he was rude, girl.
Yeah, and it goes to show you, the comedian's name is slipping my mind, but he was on Saturday Night Live and he did a monologue and he came for white women's throats. He came for white women and white men's throats in regards to racism, in regards to feminism, in regards to women's rights. And, back in 1920, it's the 100th year. And truly, what does women's rights mean from a feminist standpoint? And where Black women and other women of minority fit in. So according to, what source is this? Okay, so virginia.edu, there we go. So when we look at what happened, college graduates voted for Biden over Trump by 13 points, so 55% versus 42. And then when we look at, and this is based on education gaps too, 55% of white women voted for Trump. What?
That's why so many people are asking that, what about that 55%? Because at the end of the day, Biden is our president-elect, but there are still so many people who believed in Trump. And so now you need to try to figure out why.
Oh, yeah. I think that was the scariest part too, because when you see the states starting lighting up, right? They're all projections, but they're lighting up and it's so close. And you have different counties that are just red. And then you have some counties that flip. But just to know that people, regardless of, he put people in cages. This man has put a Muslim ban. He had all these different things and people were still able to go vote. And then you think of Florida and you think of the Latino population out there and the people that voted for him. And Vice News did a really good segment on just why Latinos are voting for Trump, because the information that was put out there, like he's a socialist, and it reminds them of whatever country that they came from. But just to know that, I think it was like 23% of Latin like voted for Trump, and then it's just. And then some black, like, then you look at the statistics for black men. I mean, black women were the only, like, 91%.
Yeah.
91%. The other 9%, I don't know what happened. But 91%.
They're having self-image issues.
Like, I don't understand. But then talking to people, they're like, well, this is why I voted for Trump, or this is why I voted for Trump.
I like having those conversations, though.
Yes.
That's why I always use, like, seemingly, and because I don't know anything by fact. Like, these people can only tell, they're politicians at the end of the day.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They're here to win the vote, you know, in any way that they need to. So, I mean, seemingly, the people who are elected to be both president and vice president are here to help the black people, the black voters who put them there. I pray that it's so. I do believe that we are much better off with Kamala and Biden than we would ever be with Trump. Trump.
If it was another 4 years of Trump,
girl, this world,
it would have been. So Tuesday night, we went to Trader Joe's because, you know, shout out to Trader Joe's. Y'all my favorite. I love y'all. Shout out to Black girls in Trader Joe's.
I knew you were going to
I love them. I love y'all. Okay. My pride sisters. So there's so many good vibes in Black girls in Trader Joe's. But we went, and it was a sense of panic because the shelves were bare. And it reminded me of what happened in March. And I started, like, I don't know if it was a panic attack. I don't know what it was. And I'm telling Martin, I'm like, there's no food. There's no food. There's no food. He's like, just calm down. There's food. Maybe stuff that you don't like, but there's food. I'm like, there's no food. Okay, go check the freezer section.
Girl.
Right. So I'm like freaking out because Beverly Hills boarded up so quickly. Downtown LA, like everybody was preparing, and then the messages that we were getting on the text was like, "Hey, everybody, stay safe." How are we getting stay safe text messages on election night?
Because
like,
our current president has polarized things so much. Like, everyone has always had their own views, political views, and you know, wants and projections, but never has it been like on fire the way that it is. Like, now I feel like a lot of Democrats feel like it's life or death, almost literally, you know, and then some Republicans feel like they are going to take our world away from us, or they are going to raise our taxes. And you know what I mean? Like, it's so polarized now, and that was intentionally done. And that's this whole, like, challenging with, like, court cases is to just emphasize how intentional this all is. You know, like, I feel like Trump was slowly trying to destroy democracy in this country. Another 4 years of Trump, girl, we probably what election? Like, we probably would have been ruled.
Yeah, it would have been. And I still see, like, the plywood still up, but I think I would have left. I think I would have made my move to Switzerland and just been chilling, you know, by the waterfalls with the mountains in the snow. Like, I honestly, because when you think about, like, one, your mind can go there because we've seen what he's capable of for 4 years. Imagine another 4 years. And then on top of that, knowing that Biden is the oldest president, right, that we will have. So he's not looking for a second term. So
Can we talk about how like rejuvenated he looked when he came and did his acceptance speech?
talk to me.
Oh my
Talk to
God.
me. This
Because
man
just
out on
like
lotion.
2 or
Okay.
so days prior, when he came out to say, you know, let's count every vote, everybody be patient. He looked so tired. He looked like Sleepy Joe, you know? Like he looked it. But man, when he must have jogged out after
He had that
Kamala
pep in his
gave her
step.
amazing speech, I was like, this man slept. Like he looks well rested.
Yeah.
He looked like he took some like B12 or something. Like
Not the pill, but the liquid, got the little spray. He sprayed that
he
bad
was
boy
just
4
so
times.
full of energy. And I was like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, like you're ready. Like you're ready to handle this job because he is old, you know,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
had been looking kind of sleepy and,
Mhm.
you know, just kind of, he's had a tough life, you know, and it was,
Yeah.
you can read it all over his face.
Yeah.
But that night, oh my God, his smile was like huge. His eyes were bright. His skin looked refreshed. I was like, dang.
Hey, I've seen some pictures of Joe Biden back in the day. Girl,
He looked good.
like a snack. Like a full, like just
That's why Joe be holding on
okay.
tight.
Like, I know, okay. Dr. Jill knows, like, I know. All right. Leave my husband alone. I know.
Girl, I got a glimpse of that on that night. He looked, mind you, I was with my sister. We were in Wines and More. She was looking for alcohol-free wine.
Oh, nice. Okay.
She's pregnant.
Dope. Okay.
But I was watching it on my phone, and as soon as he came, girl, he was jogging out. Okay, I was like, "Look, is this Joe?" I was like, "Oh my God, that's our president elect." Just,
Elect.
you know.
Well, I guess we'll see how it goes. I mean, January 20th, right? January 20th, and I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna have to use federal force to get that man out.
How embarrassing,
Girl.
I don't understand. I don't
Like,
know.
could you imagine?
But Cuomo said that that's kind of like his tactic in all of his business ventures. He uses like lawsuits as like a scare tactic for the opponent to try to like, I don't know, make them nervous or whatever it is. But Cuomo also said that he has a losing rate of court cases, and it's just like a tactic that he uses.
I'm curious to figure out. It's none of my business, but I'm nosy. I want to know who he owes. Like, what? How are you in debt? What was it? $450 million or
To
some
other countries.
Like what?
And you got a due date.
You got,
And it's coming up.
It's I'm like, how do you owe so much? I'm still trying to handle the student loan debt. How do you owe what did you spend it on?
I'm saying.
Where is it? I know it's some of these broken down casinos that you made and these hotels and stuff. My mom and daddy did stay in the one in Vegas though, like 4 years ago for my daddy's birthday. But we didn't know. We didn't really know there, and it was like cheap. But they said it was super nice. It was gold and everything, gold everywhere and stuff. So I don't know. But I'll tell you this: we'll keep a lookout on it. I think you want to go to DC in January. That's too much.
I guess it depends on this COVID-19 situation.
That part, we are in a pandemic.
Yeah, like I know Boston is on their second lockdown right now.
Chicago too, right? I think Chicago went on a 30-day lockdown. What, last week or something like that?
These cases are rising. I mean, it was expected. They said with the winter and fall and winter.
It's too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much. They need to put us on lockdown. I'm not sugarcoating it. Yeah, they did a stay-at-home advisory for Chicago 3 days ago. So for us in California, I mean, I think we hit our 1 millionth case. And then we got this unpredictable weather happening. Like, I honestly think they should shut us down. I think that we should get our groceries delivered because essential workers haven't had time to just shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every time I go out, I'm either going to a grocery store or I'm going to CVS and I'm just looky-looing, which
That's literally like our fun time.
That's our fun time. So
crazy.
how can we just shut everything down? And I don't know if that's possible because with medicine and people, all that stuff. But for our essential workers out there, they need a
I
break.
don't know if people can psychologically take that again.
Yeah.
I don't know if our economy can take that again.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know if we can survive another lockdown.
Well, we will keep y'all posted because it has been a journey. Chichi, it's always a pleasure. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Oh, so sweet. All right, y'all. So welcome back. Season 2, November 17th. I can't wait to dialogue with y'all. Again, questions, comments, concerns, okayandthepodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, tune in. Bye.
Bye.